Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yesterday we have seen that there are three types of bliss, Ananda. One is Brahmananda, second is Vidyananda, and third is the Vishayananda. Now, first we are talking about the Brahmananda. And we have seen that bliss where the Triputi, the known knowledge division doesn't exist. That experience is called as the Brahmananda. We have yesterday seen that already in quite detail. Now, thereafter, we come to this conclusion. Yo bhuma sa sukham nalpe sukham tredha vivadini Sanat Kumara prahaiva naradaya atishokine. Yo bhuma tas sukham. That which is infinite, that alone is happiness. Finite is always a misery because there is always a possibility of adding something. Wherever there is a possibility of addition, there is a sense of incompleteness. Where there is incompleteness, there cannot be happiness. And therefore, this particular theme, Sukham Tredha Vibhedini, because the Sukha, the happiness, is divided into three: experiencer, experienced, and experience. Therefore, Sanat Kumara Prahaiva Naradaya Atishodhine. Now, a story is told that Sa Puranan Panchavedan Shastrani Vividhani cha Jnatva api Anatmatva Vitvena Naradaha Atishushochaha. The story comes in Chandogya Upanishad. Once Narada was going and he came across his guru, elder brothers, the Sanat Kumar Ityadi. And he was, hanging his head down. So they are, hey, what happened to you? You are Narada, you are supposed to make others miserable. How come you are miserable? What is wrong with you? And therefore, he was asked, Sa Puranan Panchavedan Shastrani Vividhani cha. He has studied all the Puranas, all the Vedas, and different scriptures, 64 scriptures are enumerated. And Jnatva api Anatma Vitvena. Although he has studied such a great detail, and yet he has not discovered his essential nature, and therefore Naradaha ati sushochaha. Therefore he was not at peace with himself. Friends, we may have anything in this world. All siddhis, the ability to control the masses, ability to confuse the masses, ability to convince the masses, and yet you can never have a peace within. And exactly this is what happened with Narada. So he was asked, now what is your problem? You are so well read. This is our story, friend, not Narada's. We go to satsang, Gita, Upanishad, yoga, meditation, and yet we are frustrated. Then the people at home, they get a good opportunity. Why mummy is so all the time disturbed? Because she goes for Gita classes. So if an ignorant person is miserable, we are ready to accept. But when you claim that you are a satsangi and you are still depressed, dejected, that means you are not going the right way. So, what are the problems? Veda abhyasat pura tapatrayena shokita paschattu abhyasa vismara bhang garvishcha shokita. Earlier, before we studied the scriptures, etc., we were going through three problems of life. Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik and Adhyatmik. Adi Bhautik problem is there are some floods or some earthquake, etc. That time we were suffering. Second thing, Adi Daivik. We were having the problems of some kind of misfortune falling on us and we could never be successful. Whatever we start, we are in a failure. That is the Adi Daivik problems. The third problems are Adhyatmic problem. We are a problem to ourselves. Friends, we suffer maximum in our life exclusively because of ourselves, not because of others. So these were the three problems earlier before Narad studied all this. But now, Paschat, Abhyasa Vismara. But he has studied so many things and there are few more problems added. Now, which are those problems? Those problems are not 1, 2, 3, but they are uh, Abhyasa Vismara. Whatever you have studied, you have forgotten. See, this is what happens with many. Before the examination, they know everything. After the examination, they know everything. But during the examination, there is a blackout. And then there is a frustration. I have done so much of meditation, but why my mind is disturbed? I have studied so much. I have done so much of japa. I have done pranayam. And yet what? I am disturbed. See, friends, if an ignorant man is miserable, we can accept. But after having gone to Satsanga, Mahatmas and various places and yet we are disturbed, it cannot be accepted. Therefore, first because of Traya Matrena, then Paschattu Abhyasa Vismara, I have studied but I have forgotten, Bhanga Garvaihi, and then we get insulted. Yes, you are miserable naturally because you have studied Gita. So you get more frustrated out of it. And last is Shokita. And then we are under the influence of the grief all the time. Depressed, dejected, frustrated, etc. This is after the study of the scriptures. Soham vipran prashochami shoka param nayatramam ityukta sukhamevasya param itya abhyadadrishi. Therefore, saha aham. He said, Naraji, this is what I am. Normal people are miserable because of 3 problems. I have got those 3 plus 4. So I am suffering from 7 problems. I am totally disgusted, frustrated. And therefore, Shoka Param Netramam. Kindly take me beyond this miserable existence of my own. I have no charm in my life. I have no enthusiasm to live. I have nothing to look forward to in life. Friends, we have to discover a purpose for what we are living. If we don't find a purpose for what we are living, we will be totally blank. And this is exactly what has happened to him. And therefore, Shoka Param Nayatramam, kindly take me beyond this. Ityukta Sukhamevasya Paramitya Abhidatuti Rishi. And therefore, the teacher told, Rishi told that Sukham eva param, beyond all the misery, there is only happiness. Therefore, the only way you have to go beyond all the miseries. Now, what are the Sukham that we know? We know the Vishayananda. So, Sukham Vaishekam Shoka Sahasrena Avrtatvataham Dukkham eveti matvaha nalpesti Sukhamityasu. What happiness we know is not happiness, it is pleasure. And whatever happiness we get is 3 types. One is Sattvic happiness, second is Rajasic, third is the Tamasic happiness. Sattvic happiness also binds us. Sukha Sangena Vadnati, Jnana Sangena Bharata. Those who are Sattvic, they are all the time wanting very comforts and study, meditation. And if they cannot sit quiet for meditation because of the disturbances around, they get totally irritated. This is the Sattvic Sukha, is also essentially a bondage. Rajasic Sukha is Vishayendriya Sanyogad Yat Agre Amrutopamam Pariname Vishamiva. While eating the mirchi masala and all kinds of strong food, while eating, very nice. And afterwards, when the other end starts burning, and then one is in a totally miserable condition. Pariname Vishamiva. And the third is our friend, Tamasic Sukha. Nidralasya Pramadottham. All the time sleepy, lazy, no inspired existence. Bhagavan Krishna tells right in the beginning to Arjuna, Klaibyam masmagama partha, na etatvai upavadyate, kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam, tyaktotishta parantapa. Don't yield to impotency. Now see, what is impotency? Impotency is lack of inspired existence. We are living only because we are unable to die. See, this is not the way. We have to look forward for something. And for that, we have to have a systematic lifestyle. For example, physically, we must be active. Then, mentally, we must be alert. And intellectually, we must be committed to some higher cause. Only meditation will not help. Meditation is the biggest bluff. We have to live in meditation 24/7. See, one text we have studied here, Tripura Rahasya. If you remember in that text, we have told you very clearly. When the student husband was sitting in meditation, closing the eyes, the wife felt funny about it. Hey, open your eyes. What is this funny thing you are doing? No, you taught me meditation. What is that you are losing when you open your eyes? And what is that you gain when you close your eyes? Think. But we have that notion. Shambhavi Mudra. This is all only for those who are too much matter oriented. Don't get lost in that. So, Sukham the Svaishaikam Shoka Sastrena Avrtatvaha. It is associated with millions of problems. Therefore, Dukkham Eveti Matva. And therefore, the conclusion is the experience gathered through objective indulgence is essentially the misery alone and na alpe sukham asti. And therefore, whatever is finite, there cannot be happiness there. In the compositions of Mirabai, she says, she married to Bhagwan Sri Krishna. She says, ऐसे वर को क्या वरू जो जन्मे और मर जावे? Why should I get married to somebody who is subject to death? Why not get married to somebody who never dies so that I remain the Saubhagyavati throughout life? What are we seeking? Therefore, here the teacher says, Nanu dvaitem sukham mabhut advaite api asti no sukham asti chet upalabhyata tacha tatacha triputi bhavet. Okay, now a doubt is raised that Advaite Sukham Ma Bhut. Okay, we agreed. There is no happiness in the duality. Advaite Api, in the non-dual also, there cannot be happiness. If this is our argument, then if it is there, then one should experience it. And if you experience the happiness in the non-dual absolute reality, then the Triputi, the experiencer experienced, and experience will happen. Be attentive. What is the fallacy in this logic? We all have experienced only a divided experience. All our experiences are in three parts: object of experience, experience of the object, and experiencer. And therefore, whenever such intellectuals, whenever they think about God, they think objectively. And when the objectivity is too much strong in our mind, then what happens? We get lost in that. When I was sitting for meditation, I saw a light. And the light came and engulfed me. This objectivity in the knowledge is the first and the last obstacle to be transcended. And therefore, here this is the question, that if there is bliss or happiness in the non-dual absolute, then it will be experienced, and the experiencer, experiencer, and experiencer. This triputi will happen. So the teacher replies, Ma astu advaite sukham, kintu sukham advaitamevahi. Be attentive. We all have this experience or habit of understanding, knowledge of, experience of, existence of. Can we think about knowledge, not of, experience, not of, existence, not of? This is that. There is no struggle in this. But when we objectify, then we start, according to our training, we start objectifying. Okay, God is all powerful. Then we sit and we imagine God is powerful. Then God is the illuminator of everything. Then we imagine God is so bright. In 11th chapter, Bhagavan is defined and explained by Sanjay to Dhritarashtra. There he says, the glory and the brightness of the Vishwarup was so much that if hundreds and thousands of suns to rise simultaneously in the sky, what will be the brightness? Much more was the brightness of that Vishwarupa. And Sanjay is telling to whom? To a born blind who has never seen the sun. What will he understand? Because our understanding of light is this dummy thing. This is not light. Then, now understand this way. In a dark room, a simple candlelight is extremely bright. The same candlelight, you keep it in the bright sun. It is overpowered by the sunlight, and the presence of that flame of the candle is most insignificant. Because the sunlight is so powerful. Sunlight is powerful than the candlelight. Now go next step. How do we know the sunlight? By our eyes. So the light of the eyes is more powerful than the sunlight. And how do we know the mind? How do we know the light of the eyes? By the light of the mind. So the light of the mind is more powerful than the light of the eyes. See? And it is the Chetana, the life principle, which is illuminating all the experiences of the intellect. Therefore, the light of the life is more powerful. Now, if we start imagining, we'll see most of the Mahatmas or gods, their pictures are drawn. What do they do? Head, and behind that there is a big kind of a hollow. Why? Light is coming. There is a bulb behind it. That is not the meaning. Illuminator. And his illuminator is like what? Not like this light. This light is opposed to darkness. But the absolute light is not opposed to anything. It illuminates the light, it illuminates the darkness. This unopposed knowledge, this unopposed existence, this unopposed experience is the ultimate truth. See, friends, don't we eliminate the miseries as well as the happiness? Then who are we? Experiencer of misery or experiencer of the happiness, or we are merely the experience? It is divided into joy and sorrows. Therefore, that experience which is non-specific experience, like sound is a non-specific experience, but then good sound, bad sound is specific. Color is a non-specific experience, red and green specific. Smell is a non-specific experience, but good smell, bad smell specific. And therefore, here the question is that if you are experiencing the bliss in the non-dual absolute, then again the triput is created. No, man, you are not understood. Why? Because mastu advaite sukham kittu sukham advaitam evahi. It is not the happiness of something, it is happiness itself. We can say the sweetness of rasgulla, sweetness of jalebi, sweetness of srikhanda. Can we say sweetness of sugar? Sugar is sweetness. Can we say the light of sun? Light is sun. See, friends, in the same manner, there is no bliss, happiness of the self. No. Therefore, very clearly, kintu sukham advaitamevahi kim manamiti chet. If you want to ask, what is the authority of knowledge to prove that bliss is our essential nature? The teacher says, mana kanksham swayam prabhe nasti. There is no need of proving anything to anybody. Do we have to tell everybody, do you know I am happy? Take day-to-day example. When I had taken food, my stomach is full. And then, hey, your stomach is full. Yes. What is the proof? No, my stomach is full. For that, I don't need anybody's proof and I don't have to prove it to anybody. Whether I am at peace with myself or not, I don't have to justify or prove to anybody in this world. Therefore, this is pramana nirapeksha anubhuti. This experience is without the involvement of any authority of knowledge. Our being, we know by smelling. Our being, we know by tasting. No. Because we are not talking about existence of I. No, existence is I. Even to say I am is also wrong. As if I and am, they are separate or what? Therefore, here the teacher says, Kim manamiti chennasti mana kanksha swayam prabhe. That which is self-illuminated, self-established, there is no need of any authority of knowledge. Swaprabhatve bhavatvakyam manam yasmad ava bhavadinam advaitam abhyupeti asmin sukham nasti iti bhashate. The question is continuing further. Swaprabhatve bhavatvakyam manam. Just now you told, sir, that there is, I know myself, this itself is the authority of knowledge. Therefore, idam advaitam, in this manner you have to recognize your divine self. Therefore, there is no happiness in the advaita. How can you say? Now, the thing is further continued. Na abhyupadam advaitam tadvacho anudya dushanam vashmiti chetada bruhi kimasi dvaita pura. So when the teacher said, there is nothing like happiness of non-duality. Happiness is non-duality. No, just now you said that there is no happiness in the non-dual. I didn't say like that. I was just trying to tell you that there is nothing like happiness of non-duality, but happiness itself is non-dual, and therefore I have said like this. Okay, you taking your question as valid. Now, Bruhi Kimasi Dvaitata Pura. Now tell, before the non-dual, what was existing? So, the possibility. Kim Advaitam Uta Dvaitam Anyava Kotirantimaha. Before the creation, in the absolute non-dual, what was the position? Was it non-dual, whether dual, or the third option, both? Now the third is not possible, and aprasiddho no dvitiya anupatte, and the duality is also not possible, because what is creation? Creation is duality, and therefore before creation there is only absolute one non-dual blissful conscious existence. This is how it is absolutely proved. Now, after this is said, again the student is not satisfied. He said, Advaita Siddhir Yuktaiva Nanubhutteva Chedvada. You are only logically talking. Where is the experience? Logic is not the experience. So, kindly tell, there is no experience. Now, the question is again answered. Nirdrushtanta, sadrushtanta va koti anyatra no. Kindly tell me, if you want to establish the non-dual reality by the strength of logic alone, then kindly tell me, what is the conclusion based on what are the examples? In Nyaya Shastra, when logic is given, you have to give some example. See? Like the position changes our perception. This is the statement. Give an example then. For example, if you are on the road, you will see the vehicles as vehicles. When you go on 40th floor or from the aeroplane, you will see the vehicles running like the ants, not like the vehicles. Therefore, when you climb the higher area, your perception differ. At the lower level, everything is separate. When you go higher and higher, all the differences become insignificant. Examples are to be given to prove our point. Therefore, here then our teacher says, Na anubhuti na drishtanti iti yuktischa shobhate sa drishtantatva pakshetu drishtantam vadamevatam. So, if you say, for this experience, there is no example. What is the example of being one without a second? Give example. The very fallacy. Where it is said one without a second. How can you show something? There is nothing else. Therefore, na anubhuti na drishtanta iti yukti sa shobhate. So, you have to say there is neither experience nor any drishtanta example. So, sa drishtanta pakshetu drishtantam vadamevatam. So, if you say that there can be example, then kindly show me what is the example, then I will agree with you. Therefore, continuing the logic, Advaita pralayo dvaitam anulambena suptivar iti che supti advaite iti atra drishtanta miraya. He says further, in Advaite pralayo, in the total delusion, there is absolute non-dual because there is dvaita anupalambena. In the absolute reality, there is no duality at all. And like example is given, suptivat, like in the deep sleep. In deep sleep, there is absolute non-duality. There is no sense of incompleteness, there is no sense of otherness, and therefore all bliss. Now, when this is example is given, iti chet, if this is your example, now supti advaite atra drishtantamiraya. Now you tell me, on what ground you tell that in that deep sleep there is no duality? Give some example. Because in deep sleep there is none other than you. How can you give example? So, drishtanta is given, example is given. Drishtanta parasuptischet ahote kaushalam mahot. See, I can tell you example, like some other person is sleeping. This is the drishtanta. Because for that other person who is sleeping, there is no duality at all. Now the teacher says, Swa sushuptim na metti. Tell your own example. Do you know your deep sleep? Who are you in deep sleep? Where are you in deep sleep? What are you in deep sleep? You don't know anything about your deep sleep. Therefore, swasuptim na vetti asya parasuptautu ka katha. And then you are talking about when somebody else is sleeping. Find out your own sleep first. And therefore, the dialogue continues. Nishteshtatvat parasupta yatha ahamiti chetada. No, I can give example. When somebody is sleeping, he is without any activity. Calm and quiet. In the same manner, when I am sleeping, I am also calm and quiet. So, udartaho sushupteste swaprabhatvam balad bhavet. And therefore, you have come to our conclusion that when you are in deep sleep, you are without any activity and you are all by yourself. There is none other than you. See, therefore, this is the foundation of spiritual life. Do not get lost in the duality. Duality we get lost in two ways. We want some achievement in this material world, or we want some divine powers. attract millions, give wonderful talks, help people cure their diseases, bless the people. Take the words of Dhaneshwar Maharaj. He very beautifully tells, when you start controlling Prakriti, in Patanjali Yoga Darshan also it comes, in the third pada, Vibhuti pada, if you attain perfect control over your mind called as Sayyama, and that Sayyam in mind, when you are able to focus on anything, you can achieve anything in life. And once you start in that direction, then all the siddhis will start appearing in you. And the siddhis are like the smoke before the appearance of the fire. And then one gets lost in this world. And how we get lost in this world? We want to establish something in this world. I'll tell you one simple rule. If you really mean spiritual path, anybody who has to do and achieve anything in this world will never guide you to the truth. He will use you for his projects. See, friends, you go to many places, you will see this. When a big Sethji comes, giving lot of donation, the moment he comes, immediately the Mahamandaleshwar will go outside, receive him, sir comes, and then start scolding the servants of the people. And then he gain importance. Because funds are coming. See, friends. And thus, you can never be benefited. Therefore, Susidaji, Kabirji, everybody tells, those who find out your faults, those who scold you, they are your well-wishers. See, friends. Therefore, this is to be clearly understood. Don't get lost in achievement in the material world, if you mean the spiritual path. And this can happen only by observing the world. And one more step further. There are two types of beings in our world. One beings are called as avatar. They descend from the highest to the lowest for the benefit of the world. We fall in the category of we have to aroha, we have to go up. So what do? We continue our spiritual practice, take the help and blessings of those Mahatmas, but don't get entangled in that. This is what happens in most of the places. Where the Mahatmas have got these various powers, various chamatkar, various kinds of things, millions will come to them. But hardly, not even 0.001% is seeking the truth. And then there also you see the inner circle, the outer circle. It is impossible to go and meet the Mahatma because he is out of reach. See, friends, hold on to the truth. And when thus you come to a point, you want nothing. How simple it is. The moment we want something, we are in this relative world. So, continuing the further, Nendriyani na drishtanta tatha angi karoshitam idam eva swaprabhatvam yadbhanam sadhaner vina. So, my dear student, you have accepted in your deep sleep, na indriyani na drishtanta. When you say in the deep sleep, you are all by yourself, there is none other. So what is the drishtanta? No, you yourself be the thing, and na indriyani. Our existence, be attentive, is not recognized by sense organs, organs of action, mind or intellect. And because all the four are totally absent in the deep sleep. And yet, we don't experience our absence. And therefore, idam eva swaprabhatvam. This is what is called self-illumined, conscious, blissful existence. Why this becomes a struggle for the student is this. This example also I gave you, I am repeating it. By God's grace, it may click one day. When our attention is on the wall of the hall, we will be talking about inside the hall, outside the hall. Inside there is a space, outside there is a space. Now whatever are the qualities of the space, the same is inside space. No difference. Therefore, should we say that the space is inside, outside, or should we say that the hall is in the space? Because the limitation of inside, outside is created by the walls. Now, where are the walls? They are in the space. Now, from the objective experience, come to the subjective. We imagine we are inside the body. And therefore, all these people who talk about meditation, etc., they are unable to drop this basic error. They'll be talking about your Kundalini is getting awakened and something is happening and you are doing Soham, Ram Ram, and then something. This is all you are getting lost in your own body. Get out of it. And this can happen only if you are convinced that the body is in me, I am not in the body. Like the ocean says, waves are in me, but I am not in the waves. Waves are born, waves grow, waves fight, waves die. Is it not the story of the body? Body is born, body has problem, body grows, body dies. Where do we have that experience? Then the body is in me, I am not in the body. And for that, the first step on the spiritual path will be start playing, not doing meditation. Why play meditation? Whenever you play meditation, the meditator is not born. Like when you are playing with a child, that time we are not concerned about our victory or defeat. We are just playing for a time pass so that the child can be entertained. Exactly the same way. When you are sitting for your prayers, meditation, don't do meditation. Then what? Play meditation. Now how to play? Start playing this way. I am body is only we have accepted without any wisdom. The same apply. Just start playing. What it is like being other than the body. Start working on this. Initially, you will become stunned. How to start to work it? It will come out. Then you can see around you. This camera is other than me. So all the attributes of the camera, they don't belong to me. So if I am other than the body, then find out. What does it mean? So attributes of the body, they are not my attributes. The first attribute, body has a shape and a size. Now start playing. What it is like being without shape and without form. What you are doing? You are giving your mind a formlessness as the object. Mind cannot survive without form or name. Now the question is, what is formless, man? How to think about it? Then we know the space has no shape, no form. Okay, Now we start playing what it is like being space. So what is the experience of the space? Space supports everything, doesn't oppose anything, but doesn't get influenced by anything. Now start playing this. Achievements, failures in the world, friends, enemies in this world, good, bad in this world, should not affect us. Then we are playing meditation. See. Then the second attribute of the body. Body has a beginning, middle, end. Space has no beginning, no middle, no end. Now come subjective. Is it not true? We have no experience of birth, growth, modification, death. All these are happening to the body only. So why worry about the body? And thus, the mind is now free from body identification. To substantiate this experience, don't simply sit quiet like dumb, closing eyes. Again start working. In the dream experience, this body is not used by me. So without the body also I exist. In the deep sleep also, the body is not at all required, yet we continue to exist. Thus, we have to be convinced that nothing can prove that I can be the body. And once you start working in this line of thinking, you know what will happen? Thereafter, we will discover, after body identification only, this waking world becomes real. After body identification only, all relations become real. And what is the problem? Only these two things: possessions and relations. Drop them. This can happen only through proper contemplation and thinking. See, friends, idameva swaprabhatvam yadbhanam sadhaner vina. So that bhanam, that experience, which does not involve any means of knowledge, that is our essential nature. Continuing, stam advaita swaprabhatve vada supto sukham katham. Okay, sir, I agree with you. The student is not giving up. He said, okay, stam advaitam swaprabhatve. We agree. The self is self-illumined and consciousness. But supto sukham katham. But in the deep sleep, how can you say that there is happiness? Shrunu, listen. Dukkham tada nasti. In the deep sleep, nobody is miserable. Therefore, it has to be happiness. See? Now, what is the way to establish that there is no misery in the deep sleep? Come on, this is very simple. Andaha san api anandaha syad viddo aviddaha api rogi api arogi iti shruti praha tatcha sarve jana viduhu. Three examples are given. Andaha san api ananda syad. Although somebody is blind, yet in the deep sleep he is not blind. If somebody is deaf in the waking world, in the deep sleep he is not deaf. And in the waking you are having a health problem, in the deep sleep there is no health problem. And therefore, There, because there is total absence of the miseries in the deep sleep, therefore there is happiness. On this, a beautiful question is raised. Na dukkha abhava matrenam sukham. You are talking negative language. Absence of miseries cannot be called as happiness. Otherwise, loshta shiladishu, the stones and the bricks, there also there is no misery. So should we say stones and bricks are happy? Dvaya abhavasya drushtatvat iti ched vishamam vachaha. See, do you know what you are talking? There is no misery in the stones, therefore there is happy. No. What we are telling, there is no happiness or misery. Both are not there in the stone. But in human beings, both are there. Therefore, how do we know the happiness or misery is in us and not in the stones and bricks? Mukha dainya vikasabhyan para dukkha sukhohanam. By looking at the face, one knows, this fellow is miserable and this fellow is happy. Can you look at the stone and tell the fellow is miserable or happy? There is no expression that can be proved to exist. Therefore, dainyadi abhavata lushte dukkha dyuho na sambhavet. Therefore, in case of the stones, etc., there is no possibility of coming to a conclusion that in the stone, etc., there is no miseries or there is misery. Swakiye sukham dukkhe tu nohaniya tatastayo. Similarly, our own happiness and misery, we don't have to infer. We experience that. Others can infer, looking at us. Hey, what happened to you? Today you are not your own self. No, nothing happened. Don't tell now, tell afterwards. But something is wrong with you. How do you know? From your beautiful face. In no time you can judge a person by looking into his eyes. If some person is at peace with himself or herself, he is at peace everywhere. You must have come across some people, they bounce out of them and as if they are going to bounce on you. Too much extrovert. See, particularly these Tratak people, yoga people, their eyes are frightening. I haven't seen recently, they said in Osho's ashram in Pune, I haven't gone there. There used to be two eyes of Osho, big poster there. After he has gone, the people now, those who are in charge, they have removed it. What is the reason? It is too frightening. As if these eyes are haunting you. See the eyes of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. See the eyes of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. At peace. Therefore, swakiye sukha dukkhe tu no haniya tatatayo bhavaha vidya anubhuti eva tad abhavopi nanyataha. Therefore, the experience is without anybody's authority or by any proof that whether I am happy or I am not happy. This is my experience directly. Tatha sati swasuptau cha dukkha bhavo anubhutitaha virodhi dukkha rahitya sukham nirvignam ishyatam. This being so, swasuptau dukkha abhavaha anubhutitaha. Therefore, in our own experience of deep sleep, there is total absence of miseries. When we get out of the sleep, has anybody ever said, I have been sleeping for 8 hours, damn tired now? Never. Others are tired. Utho na jaldi. You are snoring away happily. See, dukkha abhavaha, and therefore, virodhi dukkha rahitya sukham nirvignam ishyatam. And therefore, there being a total absence of miseries, this itself is called as sukham nirvignam, without any vigna or without any obstacles. Now, here the student is not yet giving away. He said, okay, there cannot be absolute bliss. It has to be only through something. महत्तर प्रयासेन मृदु शय्यादि साधनम कुतः संपाद्यते सुप्तो सुखम चेतत्र नो भवेत्. Before we go to sleep, we prepare with great efforts all our bed properly. Now, when we prepare our bed properly, are we preparing the bed properly to become miserable? Although preparing bed may be difficult, but that is done only for seeking happiness. And therefore, mrudu shayyadi sadhanam kuta sampadhyate suptav. But once you are in deep sleep, it doesn't matter where you are sleeping. So preparation of the good bed is also for the happiness, and after you sleep, you are already in happiness. And therefore, tatra no bhave dukkha nashartham evaetar iti ched roginasthatha bhavatu aroginastetar sukhayaiva nishchido. And if you say that the comfortable bed, etc., is for the removal of the miseries, then it has to be said, then that person must be unhealthy. Unhealthy person, if he has to sleep, a lot of preparation is made on the bed. But it is bhavatu aroginaha. But those who are not miserable, not unhealthy, they are also preparing their own bed properly before going to sleep. And therefore, we cannot say that preparation of the bed properly is only for the unhealthy people. But even healthy people, when they go to sleep, they want a good bed so that their glide into the divine bliss is easy. Again, a question is raised. Tarhi sadhana janyatva sukham vaishayikam bhavet. The student is terrible. So if you are preparing the bed, that means you are getting happiness from the object. See? You can imagine the teacher's condition. Sadhana janya sukhatvat sukham vaishayikam bhavet. Then it is object to happiness. Bhavatu etat atra nidraya purvam. Okay, I agree with you. But this is before the sleep. Purvam shayyadi sanasanam janam. Nidrayam tu sukham yattat janyate kene hetuna. Okay, we agree. This is Vishaya Sukha. The Nidraya, in your deep sleep, whatever happiness you have, where from it comes? Does it come from the bed? Because in the deep sleep, we are not even aware where we are, when we are, what we are. But we are. We cannot experience our absence. So, Nidrayam Sukhatu Yattat Jannate Kene Hetuna. Then Sukhabhiva Sukhabhimukha Dhi Adau Paschad Majjed Pare Sukhe. Be attentive. When we are, this is a very subtle thought. Presently we are extrovert. So imagine our mind is like this. The world is being reflected in the mind like a mirror. What is the process of deep sleep or getting into sleep? Slowly we withdraw our mind and become introvert. So earlier, the same mind was reflecting the world. So when we are withdrawn, now the mind is reflecting the bliss that we are. And thereafter, Nidrayam Sukham, Sukha bhi Mukha Dhi Adau, initially, the intellect, the mind becomes oriented to the self, the bliss of the self, Paschat Majjed Pare Sukhe. And once the bliss is reflected in the mind, slowly the reflection and the reflected, they merge in one. Next time you go to sleep, don't go now. When you go to sleep, observe this. What is the process of sleep? How the sleep is initiated? We discard everything. Nothing is important now. Like there was somebody sent me some pictures, beautiful pictures. A child was taking some noodles and feeling so sleepy. In the mouth, there are noodles hanging and he is sleeping there only. Everything rejected. Other cat was playing with the shoe and she put her head into that shoe and slept. Everything is discarded. Exactly this is what we discard everything. And intense is the sleep, quick is the discarding the world. What for? When we are the self-oriented, slowly worldly interest is lost. And that loss in the worldly interest is further accentuated by the reflection of the bliss. And ultimately, world is totally discarded and mind is dissolved in the consciousness. Next time you go to ocean, clean ocean, and nice big waves. This is my very great favorite joy. If you go and huge waves come, the water rolls over itself. And the water after rolling itself, it flows, and the water which is going back and the water which is coming, again they hit each other and again there is a surf or the waves there. So everything is happening only in the water. Nothing is created, yet everything appears to be created. In the same manner, mind is projecting the whole world, the world is seen. Then again the mind becomes introvert, everything is gone. And then this mind goes back to the pure consciousness. And therefore, in the absence of the mind, there cannot be duality. And therefore, in the deep sleep, Sukha bhi mukhadhi adau paschat majjet pare sukhe. Then the intellect, the mind goes back to the pure bliss. Jagrat vyapruti bhi shantaham vishramyat virodhini apanite swasthi chitto anubhavayen vishaye sukham. Jagrat vyapruti bhi shrantaha. When he was very busy, extremely busy in the worldly undertakings, shrantaha, one gets extremely exhausted and tired. Then Vishramya, then after he has totally relaxed, thereafter Virodhini, that is Apanite Swastha Chittaha, then the miseries are completely given up and Swastha Chittaha Vishaye Sukham Anubhavet, and then he experiences the experience of bliss. Exhausted person cannot enjoy. So what he does, now enough here, I want to go to sleep. And when one goes to sleep, everything is discarded, then he enjoys the joy, but that joy doesn't come from the world. It comes from within. But that is also a reflected happiness. It is not absolute happiness. But from this reflected happiness of the deep sleep, one is sucked into the reality. Now be very attentive. There are two aspects of our personality. One is Purusha, second is Prakriti. Prakriti is mind, etc. Purusha is the Jiva. Now be very attentive, it's a very subtle point. The sadhana is being done by the Jiva. Now what happens? When the deep sleep happens, in that deep sleep, the mind goes back to Prakriti and the Jiva goes back to consciousness. Be very attentive, it's not difficult. When you are sitting quiet, and in that quietness, if your breathing becomes heavy, then you are going back to sleep. If your breathing becomes fast, you are getting identified with the body. And when ultimately, when Kevala Kumbhaka happens, there is no effortful suspension of breathing called as Kumbhak. But the breathing becomes so slow and shallow that Prakriti goes back, the matter or the mind, etc., goes back to Prakriti, Avyakta, and the Purusha, the Jiva, gives up the condition of the Prakriti and goes back to the consciousness. Now, to understand this, take your day-to-day example. I go to sleep as a husband. Man never goes to sleep. Husband goes to sleep. Now don't disturb me, I am going to sleep. So the husband has gone to sleep. Now what is the process? First of all, he discards everything associated with the wife. Gone. So husband is now having two aspects. One is man, second is husband. Now husband is doing the sadhana. So what he has done? He has discarded the wife and everything along with her. Then what remains? Man minus husband. What remains? Pure man. In the same manner, in deep sleep, Upanishad says, Ahar Ahar Brahma Gamayati. Mind goes back to Prakriti, Purusha, the Jiva. He goes back to his essential nature, the divine bliss. Therefore, what is the Jiva? Jiva is a conditioned expression of divinity through the limitations of the Panchakoshas. What is the husband? Conditioned expression of a man through the limitations of a wife. In the waking experience, identified with the body, the Jiva is 100%. In the dream, only 50%. Not identified with the body, but playing the joy and sorrow game in the dream as a dreamer. In the deep sleep, zero Jiva. Because all the conditionings of the Panchakoshas are discarded, and then the bliss of the deep sleep remains initially. Afterwards, that also merges in the absolute. And therefore, in deep sleep, there is nobody. And therefore, deep sleep is common for all of us. Our waking experiences are different. Dream experiences are different. But our deep sleep experience is common. No division has happened. This undivided experience is the bliss. Therefore, Jagrat Vyaprutivihi Shranta Vishramyate Virodhini Apanite, then Swastha Chittaha. And then he has discarded all the tiredness, everything, and then Swastha Chittaha, now he is settled. And then Anubhavad Vishaye Sukham. And then he is able to enjoy the worldly joys or the self. Atma bhi mukhadhi vrutto swanandaha pratibimbati. And such a person whose mind has become self-oriented. Now I am telling you two things. First was, when too much tired you cannot enjoy. So you take rest for some time. And then you can enjoy. But in case of the deep sleep, Atma bhi mukhadhi vrutto swanandaha pratibimbati. But when the mind has become totally self-oriented, then the bliss, the self is reflected. Anubhuya enam atrapi tributya kshantim apriyat. And here also he is experiencing the bliss of the self, again triputi. I am experiencer, experiencing the bliss. But there also he gets tired. And that also, when he gets tired, then he is sucked into the deep sleep, goes back to himself. So the stages are, first we are tired, we cannot enjoy the world. So we take rest and then enjoy. Second thing, when we are tired, we go to sleep. Initially, we are having only a kind of a trailer of happiness, where enjoyment and enjoy it, these are different. But then that also tires us. And then the real snoring alarm begins. Now he has transcended everything and merged in the absolute. See how deep is the analysis. And in this manner, तस् श्रमस्य अनुप्यर्थम जीवो धावित परात्मनि तदैक्यम प्राप्त तत्र अति ब्रह्मानंद स्वयं भवेत्. And thus, after even this joy of the deep sleep is also getting useless, then jivo dhavit paratmani, then the jiva, he discards all the conditionings and he goes back to his divine essential nature. Tena aikyam prapyaha. Then he attains absolute merging in the absolute. See? And therefore, Brahmananda Swayam Bhavet. Then he has discovered what is the meaning of Brahmananda. Friends, once only this Brahmananda has to be recognized. Once it is recognized, it will never be lost. There is no struggle thereafter. Now, about this, there are a few examples given in the scriptures. Drushtanta Shakunishena Kumarascha Mahanrupaha Mahabrahmana Ityete Suptyanande Sutirita Shakuni Sutra Baddasan Dikshu Vyaprutya Vishramam Alabdva Bandhana Sthanam Asta Stambhabhyam Upashraya. Few examples are given, like the bird Shakuni. The bird is tied down with a thread to in your own hand or to some branch. So his leg is tied down by one end of the rope or a thread, and other is tied to this. What that bird will do? He'll fly. How he'll fly? In a circle. Because there is a center, he'll keep on flying in a circle. How long he'll fly? When he gets tired, he has to come back and sit over here. One example. Second example, Shenaha. What the Shena does? He is running Sheno Vegena Nidalampataha Shaitum Brajet. The kite in the sky, all the vultures, they are far up in the sky. But when the time comes to go to sleep, they go back straight away to their nest and want to go and sleep. In the same manner, Jivaha Sukte Tatha Dhavet Brahmanande Kalampataha. And therefore, Jiva, every one of us, is extremely eager to go to sleep because Brahmananda Lampataha, we are extremely desirous of being one with the Brahmananda. And therefore, those who don't get sleep, see how miserable they are. And in deep sleep, what happens? We don't get anything. When you thus analyze your own experiences, one day you will come to discover the real joy is not getting anything from outside. The real joy is giving up everything. This is what we do in deep sleep. We give up everything. Therefore, kings are called Raja. Babajis are called Maharaja. In this manner, Jiva Supte Tatha Dhaved Brahmanandai Kalampataha. And one more example is given. Atibalastanam Pitva Mrudu Shayya Gato Hasan Ragadveshat Anupatte Anandaika Swabhava. A child suckling his mother and having taken the milk, he goes to sleep with a smile, and that time he has no raga, dvesha, no likes, dislike, and he is an embodiment of bliss, and therefore so cheerfully, happily sleeping. You all must have seen when the child sleeps, it is so Lovely to see the sleeping child. One day when I went to somebody's house, a sweet child, I said, hey, where is the baby? Swami is sleeping. I said, okay, let me go ahead. I wanted to go and lift that child and hug and kiss. I said, hey, how cute he is. I just can't stop. The mother came and pulled me from him. Swami, don't. Why? He looks sweet and cute only when he's sleeping. The moment he is awake, he is a Rakshasa. That sweetness doesn't come from the makeup. It comes from within. Let us discover this. This is Brahmanande Yogananda. Don't seek happiness in life. Discover happiness in life. When you seek, you will be lost. When you discover, it can never be lost. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.